We begin this story with an uneasy stillness, the kind that settles over Port Charles right before everything fractures. Monday, January 12th, does not announce itself as dangerous. The streets look the same. The familiar faces move through their routines, and yet we can feel it, a pressure building beneath every conversation and every glance. We are standing at the edge of several truths that are about to collide, and none of them will leave this town unchanged. Laura is the first thread we follow, because Laura is never idle when she senses that something is wrong. We believe she has reached a point where patience no longer feels like a virtue. For weeks, perhaps longer, she has been weighing her options, watching Sidwell operate in shadows, calculating how much damage he has already caused and how much more he could inflict if left unchecked. Laura's new plans are not reckless, but they are bold. We think she is preparing to confront Sidwell in a way that undermines his sense of control, possibly by interfering with his business interests or by exposing a secret he thought was safely buried. This is not a quiet move. This is a challenge. What Laura may not fully anticipate is how deeply Sidwell resents being cornered. Sidwell is not a man who responds with reason when his authority is questioned. He responds with punishment. We suspect that Laura's actions, whatever form they take, ignite a fury in Sidwell that he carefully conceals from public view. He smiles, he nods, he pretends nothing has changed, but behind closed doors he is already planning retaliation. And Sidwell's retaliation is never straightforward. He does not strike Laura directly. Instead, he chooses a weapon that will devastate her emotionally. This is where Ace comes into the story. We believe Sidwell secretly orchestrates Ace's disappearance, not as an impulsive crime, but as a calculated move designed to break Laura's resolve. The cruelty lies not only in the act itself, but in the timing. Laura continues with her plans, unaware that Sidwell has already taken something precious from her. We think Sidwell intends to reveal the truth himself, at a moment when Laura feels confident or even victorious. The revelation will not be an admission of guilt, but a taunt, a reminder that Sidwell still has power, still controls the board. And when Ace is taken, the implications ripple outward. We cannot ignore the likelihood that Kevin is also caught in Sidwell's web. Kevin represents more than a loved one to Laura. He is insight, strategy, and emotional ground. If Sidwell has taken Kevin as well, it suggests a deeper level of planning. Sidwell would be removing a potential obstacle while simultaneously amplifying Laura's pain. The absence of both Ace and Kevin would leave Laura disoriented, struggling to balance her fight for justice with her terror for the people she loves. As this unfolds, another storm gathers around Tracy. Her anger is sharp, focused, and directed squarely at Alexis. We believe Tracy has begun to realize that Alexis is maneuvering behind the scenes, attempting to use a mysterious letter to implicate both Tracy and Michael. This is not a simple misunderstanding. It feels deliberate, strategic, and deeply personal. Tracy does not take kindly to being used as a pawn, especially when her reputation and freedom may be at stake. The letter itself becomes a dangerous object, because its origins are unclear even to Alexis. We suspect Alexis is acting on incomplete information, driven by fear and desperation rather than certainty. She may genuinely believe she is uncovering the truth, but she does not know who sent the letter or why. This ignorance puts her in a precarious position. If a judge begins pressing her for answers about the letter's sender, Alexis could find herself exposed, unable to defend her actions without admitting she is operating in the dark. This is where the tension tightens. Alexis is trying to control the narrative, to steer suspicion away from herself while pushing it toward Tracy and Michael. Yet every move she makes increases the risk that her own credibility will crumble. Tracy senses this vulnerability, and her anger is fueled not just by betrayal, but by the realization that Alexis's plan could easily implode, taking innocent people down with it. At the heart of Alexis's motivation lies her desire to see her granddaughter, Scout. We understand how powerful this longing is. Alexis has already lost so much, and being barred from Scout feels like another punishment she cannot bear. She believes that if she can convince Drew to lift the restraining order, everything else might be worth it. Every risk she takes, every moral compromise she makes, seems justified in her mind by the hope of holding Scout again. But we believe this hope is misplaced. Drew, despite any lingering affection or shared history, has no intention of removing the ban. We suspect Drew set that boundary not out of anger, but out of certainty. He believes the decision is necessary, and no amount of pleading or maneuvering from Alexis will change his mind. This makes Alexis's efforts tragic in retrospect. She is fighting a battle she cannot win, sacrificing her integrity and relationships for an outcome that was never possible. While these adult conflicts simmer, a revelation begins to form among the younger generation. Trina's instincts lead her to a chilling conclusion. She identifies Willow as the person who shot Drew. This realization does not come from a single piece of evidence, but from a convergence of moments, sounds, and memories that finally align. Joe's manipulation plays a crucial role here. By successfully convincing Wiley to call Willow during a pause in the court proceedings, Gio inadvertently creates the perfect trap. When Willow's phone rings, the sound cuts through the room like a blade. Kai and Trina hear it, and they recognize it instantly. It is the same ringtone they heard on the night Drew was shot. In that moment, doubt turns into certainty. The truth is suddenly clear, terrifying in its simplicity. Willow has been hiding in plain sight. Yet knowing the truth does not immediately lead to action. Kai and Trina are paralyzed by fear and uncertainty. They understand the weight of what they have discovered. Accusing Willow is not just about revealing crime. It means confronting the fallout, the consequences, and the possibility of retaliation. There are forces at play that are bigger than them. And for now, survival demands silence. We believe they choose to hold onto the secret, at least temporarily, while they decide how and when to act. Elsewhere, Carly steps into a conversation that may prove more dangerous than she realizes. Her interaction with Brennan starts innocently enough, but Carly has a habit of speaking from instinct rather than caution. We think she accidentally mentions Valentine, perhaps in passing, perhaps without fully considering how it might sound to someone like Brennan. The effect is immediate. Brennan's demeanor shifts. His curiosity sharpens into suspicion. We believe Brennan begins replaying Carly's words in his mind, searching for inconsistencies and hidden meanings. Carly may not even realize she has revealed something important, but Brennan does. This conversation could be the spark that leads him to uncover a secret that has been carefully protected. Whether he confronts Carly directly or starts his own investigation remains to be seen, but the damage may already be done. Jason, meanwhile, is moving with quiet determination. His focus turns toward Drew, not out of hostility, but out of a need for clarity. We suspect Jason overhears or stumbles upon a confession Willow makes to Drew, admitting that she is the one who shot him. This discovery hits Jason hard. He does not hesitate when it comes to protecting the truth, even when the truth is inconvenient or painful. If Jason confirms Willow's guilt, we believe he will not keep it to himself. Jason is prepared to expose her, regardless of the consequences. His sense of justice is straightforward and uncompromising. He will not allow Willow's crime to remain hidden, especially if others are being blamed or manipulated in her place. As these revelations build, Brad uncovers something that could change everything. We believe Brad stumbles upon a secret connected to Lucas, but the trail leads back to Sidwell. There are two possibilities that feel equally dangerous. Brad may discover that Sidwell is secretly holding Anna captive, using her as leverage in some larger scheme. Alternatively, Brad could uncover evidence that Sidwell is responsible for Dalton's murder. Either discovery would put Brad in immediate danger. Knowing too much about Sidwell is never safe. We think Brad realizes this quickly, and the fear that follows is palpable. He must decide whether to come forward with what he knows or protect himself by staying silent. Either choice carries risk, and time may not be on his side. Finally, Jacinda steps forward with a confession of her own. She approaches Michael, burdened by guilt and regret. We believe Jacinda admits that she lied, that she fabricated or manipulated evidence to provide Michael with a false alibi. Her apology is sincere, but sincerity does not erase the damage done. Michael's trust has been shattered, and the consequences of Jacinda's actions may extend far beyond their relationship. Michael is not the type to forgive easily when betrayal cuts this deep. We suspect he listens to Jacinda, but his anger remains unresolved. This confession may close one chapter, but it opens another, one filled with resentment and unresolved conflict. As we reach the end of this chapter, it becomes clear that Port Charles is standing on unstable ground. Laura's fight against Sidwell, Alexis's desperate gamble, Trina's terrifying discovery, Carly's careless words, Jason's pursuit of truth, Brad's dangerous knowledge, and Jacinda's confession are all threads in a larger tapestry of chaos. Each decision made on this day sets off a chain reaction, and none of the characters involved will escape unscathed. We end not with resolution, but with anticipation. Secrets are cracking. Loyalties are shifting. And as the truth inches closer to the surface, we know that when it finally breaks through, it will do so with devastating force.